Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jester Cast. Tonight we have CSN Round 1 match of Baby Smashers versus Universal Soldiers. So this is the CSN, the Cyber Sports Network, first tournament. It's Round 1 matches, $800 up for grabs, sponsored by S2. Now, Cyber Sports Network, obviously a new league, just came out, still in beta. Website looks pretty nifty. And that being said, they've asked if I could do some of their casting. So here we are, round 1 game, Universal Soldier, Baby Smashers. So this game is played in 1.0.9. So as you can tell, we have some of the bands coming out, a Kronos, and here it is, the Flint Beastwood, the new port come over straight from Dota, the Dwarven Sniper himself, as kind of like an ugly dual shotgun wielding orc. Well, all looks aside, almost plays exactly the same, and we're not going to be seeing him. So, that being said, we went on to some of the more bands. Pandemonium, Engineer, Arachna, Forsaken Archer. Pandemonium has kind of come up in a lot of play. MSI has been popularizing him lately with tri-lane setups, and I guess people are like, no way, we don't want to deal with that. Engineer, obviously, with the tweaks, is kind of really up there again. Arachna being a great hard carry, and then, of course, the Forsaken Archer semi-carry. None of them want to be seen this game, and as you can tell, we're already into the pick, so let's do a little bit of catch-up. First pick coming out, Nymphora. Come up really nicely in this new patch, even just last patch, with her new ultimate changes, but Nymphora was countered to a Glacius. Really great, strong support for the team. Global mana regen, 2 slows, and a kick-ass ultimate. Can't really ask for much more on a support. Valkyrie will be joining Glacius, and that was countered with a Witch Slayer. Magmus, so 2 great disable heroes there. Carry Magmus, oh wait, never mind. I've learned that lesson. And then on the Legion side, we rounded up with a Swiftblade Andromeda. Looking at Glacius Andromeda Swiftblade, I'm kind of inclined to say that that will become a tri-lane for them. Swiftblade obviously able to be very early game feared with his spin. The name is blanking on me here. Blade Frenzy, there we go. It's a spin, it deals damage, you're immune to magic during it, it really kicks ass. Throw that together with an Andromeda for a stun, a Glacius for a slow, and you have quite the powerhouse lane. So we're just waiting for the last 2 picks to come up here. There's one of them, Pharaoh, coming out for that Hellborn team for Shameless, the Shameless Pharaoh. I was kind of like how that put together. And their last pick, picking up a Corrupted Disciple to be their hard carry for the game. This will be an interesting way to go. We will have to see what happens there. Corrupted Disciple, great mid hero. Put them together with the map-controlling Nymphora. And whew, we're going to have some damage coming out. There we go. Soul Stealer picked up for the Legion side. So going with a Swiftblade Soul Stealer carry combo, I suppose, is the best way to put that. So we're going to see a tri-lane, most probably with that Swiftblade. I'd be very surprised if that did not happen. We're going to put Soul Stealer mid. We're going to see Valkyrie probably top. Just me off the top of my head. We'll have to see what happens. On the flip side, Hellborn, let's see, could easily put together Nymphora and Witch Slayer, or even Nymphora Magmus. That would leave Witch Slayer or Nymphora to babysit the Pharaoh, and we're going to throw that Corrupted Disciple mid. So, here we go. As the announcer says, let's get it on. CSN Round 1 opening tournament, $800 between the top 3 teams. We will have to see how this goes as we watch kind of the loading war here. First was Swiftblade, followed closely. I'm not going to do that. Not at all, but it looks like the Iceman himself, Glacius, coming up last. So with this new patch came Flint Beastwood, and with that in store comes the new Striders. I don't think you're going to see them early, but considering, you know, never really go for that boots offhand. Although there is kind of one exception. I would not mind a boots on a Swiftblade. Not in a high-ranked game, but you go into kind of a lower-ranked pub, you know, where I kind of sit my PSR these days, and throw on a nice boots, throw up, you know, a Tundra from Glacius, get a nice stunner out there, and just early game pwn. Fun times. You should try it sometime. Great to relieve the stress after a hard day casting, or just at work, or really anything. Anything at all. So, as we see the lanes kind of just matching up here, we got Corrupted Disciple top. Interesting pick. That would leave Nymphora mid, I suppose, and that kind of suggests that they're going to be running their own tri-lane, this Hellborn team. Magmus, Witchslayer, Pharaoh. So, we'll have to see how that turns out. Now, the problem with that lane is that there's 2 melee and 1 ranged. Now, the more successful tri-lanes, for as example here, we have 2 ranged and 1 melee, and the melee there is supposed to be the one, you know, getting the last hits, getting off the kills, not really worrying about denies, just trying to farm up as much as possible. And as the rune has now spawned, we do not see any action at these runes. So the rune was bottom, but Tablet of Illusion picked up for Witchslayer. Why not? But we do have that Soul Stealer going middle, and it looks like we're going to have that Valkyrie go south. So, tri-lane versus solo, tri-lane versus solo, and of course, solo versus solo. So the game has begun. We'll have to see how well Nymphora can keep up with a Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer, obviously that master of farm, so to speak, as he does have a lot of farming capabilities, getting those last hits with those souls he builds up. Getting the last hits with those demon hands, quite the AoE. No damage limiter on that. You just hit the target and anything around it just gets hurt. Easy as that. So this is interesting for a Corrupted Disciple, because he's going to be top against, well, arguably one of the very hardest tri-lanes to get away. But those big red rings of death will hopefully serve him well, as he might be able to fend off and just tower sit all day, if it pleases him. It does look like we had a Magmus come up here for a gank, and Soul Stealer does not see him. Now Magmus goes in on him. Nymphora a little late with that pod, but the stun is able to come out, pick up that Bloodlust a minute 25 into this game. So a good cycle there. This is what you want to do for your tri-lanes. You want to cycle around your supports. You want to get these kills. Otherwise, you're just wasting time, wasting experience down in your lane, and really you can't be affording to do that. So up comes Magmus going for a quad lane, but it does look like a lot of action has already appeared to have happened up here. That tri-lane combo going in on that Corrupted Disciple was not able to land the damage, but they might be going in on Witchslayer here, and down he goes, falling right back into that graveyard. And there is a Swiftblade just hiding in the corner, but his Swift, his Blade Frenzy, not going to be up, and that's going to be a counter kill up top for that Corrupted Disciple. Those big red rings of death, quite the range on those, so easy pick up that Iceman. Oh man, Iceman. Always love watching Glacius die. He just falls into a, well, bunch of chunks of ice. That's all it is. So it looks like the tri-lane down south has been dissolved. That's going to be putting a Valkyrie against a Pharaoh. We'll have to see how that goes. A distinct disadvantage to that Pharaoh. It'll come down to how well he can use those mummies, how well he can spit those fireballs. I call them snot balls. I think they look like snot. That's just me though. As we do have kind of the cycled Witchslayer and Magmus both up top. Looks like they're going to stay up top. Tri-lane versus tri-lane. It's one of the most common counters that you can get, and arguably it'll work out, for one of the 2 tri-lanes. As I said, 2 ranged versus the 2 melee. There is the distinct, 2-to-1 attack ratio here. Glacius and Andromeda both get off auto attacks at a decently safe distance, whereas Swiftblade, Magmus, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. Witchslayer is totally not melee. But there goes that melee disadvantage, not really being put into effect as Magmus jumps right in there, able to pick up that Andromeda kill. It looks like Corrupted Disciple will pay for that though, with that Blade Frenzy just doing massive amounts of damage. AoE, that is the name of the game for the Swiftblade. But let's see if they can go in on this Witchslayer. It is going to get that stun on Glacius, going to prevent them from disabling those potions. Looks like they got 1 potion on that Magmus, but this could be bad. There looks like there's an Nymphora up top as well, and Glacius, poor Glacius, he's just going to get trapped there in a pod no less. and Nymphora will be picking that up. No problem. Andromeda is back, however, and there goes another Swift Slashes going in on this Witch Slayer. You cannot hurt him with damage. You have to attack him. But that Swift Blade now in a lot of trouble, as there's just a lot of range damage here. And it looks like they're even going to be picking up this Andromeda. That auto attack is going to be enough. Andromeda turning around to stun the Corrupted Disciple, and ultimately costing her her life. But as much as this looks like it's working very well, you have to keep in mind this guy. He is free farming. I think there's a song about free farming, but I'm not going to look it up. He has no competition. He's going to be pushing this lane, getting all those kills, no problem, and he's going to take that level advantage as soon as he can away from that Nymphora. Now down south, of course, Pharaoh and Valkyrie are having, I don't know, lots of dancing fun. Does look like Pharaoh's winning the lane a little bit there, from level 5 to level 4, so we'll have to see how that turns out. But yeah, I don't know. All those kills might be worth it down the line, but keeping down a Soul Stealer should be priority number 1. As I said before, he is that massive farming type, and it will be no problem at all for him to you know, raise that capital, get that portal key, and start melting faces. But that does put us now at 6-3, 5 minutes 15 seconds in. I like the ward placement here. A very aggressive ward on from the Legion team on this Hellborn top lane. Can easily tell who's porting in, who's coming to support, when they're going into the jungle. But the problem is that they sacrificed, you know, it's a good spot here, but they sacrificed the placement here. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Because, you know, I'm not even going to finish that sentence, as it looks like Nymphora with an illusion and a Magmus is going to be putting down this Soul Stealer, as he has no real escape mechanics from there. It does look like Nymphora, I'd have to assume, has boots. She does indeed, whereas the poor Soul Stealer did not. So the range advantage coming out there. Good gank by Magmus again. Cycle around those supports. Try to, you know, pick up as many kills early game as you can. Keep down the enemy. And it's really an effective business. Dota had it right when they invented that. But anyways, back to the original thought. Disabling these creeps here is a good bonus to you because you're denying them experience. But with the ward placed up here and the ward placed obviously here, you sacrifice that. And I guess the idea is to go for the ganks. Of course, it was the tri lane early on, but it just has not worked for Team Baby Smasher, which is a great guild name. Universal Soldiers, of course, you know, a pun off the old movie. But look at that Swift Blade coming up with that Blade Frenzy right in time. Not going to be hit by that graveyard. Now he's going to have to run, but he will be A-okay. I do not think the Switch Slayer will be able to do anything at all. But here comes that roaming Magmus. Interesting. I've never really called him a roaming Magmus before, but here he is, roaming Magmus. He's going to run right here into these two. Has to be very careful, of course. Out comes a Tundra from Glacis, just in case. Not going to hit him. But of course, the ward support is now down. 7 minutes into this game, the wards only last 6. What's in this monkey? Nothing. Okay. Just a flying monkey to say hi. But now we got a tri-lane, of course, up top again. The lane is nicely being pushed, or pulled back, I suppose. There goes Glacis with the rewarding up top. Good on you, Glacis. Looks like they want to go in on an Nymphora. A Glacis plus a Soul Stealer could definitely be fun times. But there's no ward support up here. I lied. That's right there. Nymphora saw it coming. So that will not be a successful gank whatsoever. But hey, level 7 to level 7. Creep score is going to, not the Soul Stealer, although Soul Stealer is now getting hit pretty decently hard. It is going to that Pharaoh down south, picking up 41 creep kills, 16 denies, clearly winning his lane against this poor Valkyrie. He's only at 14-3, so his farm is astronomical at this point. 289 gold a minute. Well done on you, sir. Might not be any action, but you're doing the right thing. Look at that, a good freeze going off on Magmus, but that's not going to save this Soul Stealer whatsoever. And now Glacis in a world of trouble as well, and down he will, I assume, go. There we go. Out comes the Aurora from that Andromeda, going to be targeting this Magmus, who has only boots but not enough mana to really get away from anything. Oh, a little bit of a mistiming there from Swiftblade. He let Magmus get away a little bit too much health, and now not going to be going on this Nymphora, who's bottling up, trying to land a kill. Does hit the Andromeda, but does not want to follow up with that. You don't know who's hiding in that forest at any time whatsoever. There's no Hellborn wards there, but this Universal Soldier team doing very well against Baby Smasher. Early game, 9-5, demolishing that tri-lane. It always really sucks when you put so much effort into a tri-lane and then